horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty Hi-Yo Silver, the Lone Ranger. With his faithful Indian companion, Tonto, the masked rider of the plains led the fight for law and order in the early western United States. It was his strength and courage, his daring and resourcefulness, that broke the power of the outlaw bands and made the frontiers safe for honest men and women. Nowhere in the pages of history can one find a greater champion of justice. Return with us now to those thrilling days of yesteryear. From out of the past come the thundering hoofbeats of the great horse Silver. The Lone Ranger rides again.
Come on, Silver! We're heading for the Carter Ranch. There's going to be trouble. Hurry, old Silver, away!
Lone Ranger and Tonto were riding across country when a volley of shots rang out through the stillness of the afternoon. They raced to the crest of a hill and reined up. Directly below them, two men had taken cover on either side of the trail.
A gunfight, Tonto. And what we do?
We'll try and put a stop to it before one of them is killed.
We ride down there?
No, Tonto. We'll leave the horses here. There's plenty of cover. You circle around and back of the one to the right. And I'll get the one to the left.
And take gun.
That's the idea. We'll disarm them, and then we'll find out what the duel is all about. Just stay here, Silver. Hurry, Tonto.
Tonto, do it.
Now I reload and...
Not so fast. Steady. I'll take that gun.
The masked man.
Tonto.
Tonto.
Tonto got him.
Good. Bring him over here.
Hey, what for you do this? Pedro has no money.
I'm not looking for money. Why were you shooting at that man?
Well, why not?
Why not?
Well, we sure turned out to be a couple of smart hombres, Pedro. I suppose he caught you with your gun empty, just like the Indian caught me.
See, it is most embarrassing.
It's worse than that. What are you going to do with us, mister?
Are you two friends?
See, that is why we shoot at each other.
You mind explaining that?
We were just having a little fun.
Hey, let me see your sombrero, Pete.
You put 2 holes in it.
Only 2.
Look for yourself. Now, let me see yours.
Only 2.
Yeah, there's 2 through the top. But how about that one that grazed the brim?
Oh, no, that one does not count.
Sure does. You owe me 2 bits.
All right, I pay you right now.
Huh?
There.
Thanks.
Pedro's smart. The masked money will take it away from you.
What's your name?
I am Pedro Martinez de Salvado Eroniega.
And you?
Just plain Pete Lacey.
Pete and Pedro.
You have heard of us, no?
I've heard of you. We wasted our time, Tonto. Here, Silver.
Here, Scout. Hey, Silver. You cost me a horse, Silver.
Call that Indian Tonto. Pedro, he's...
You do not have to tell me, my friend. Hey, this is great pleasure, senor. You have heard of us. We have heard of much of you.
We're sure sorry to have caused you any bother.
Well, that seems to be especially with you
Oh,
two.
senor.
Pedro Martinez, the best man with a lariat in the state of Texas.
You honor me too much.
And Pete Lacey, the best bronco buster.
Oh, now, I don't claim to be...
But the 2 worst hands at holding a job from the Mississippi to the Pacific.
That is not true, senor. Not anymore.
Oh, No, sirree. We both turned over new leaf.
When?
Well, this morning. But we ain't...
I see. Steady, Silver.
Hey, but wait. You know where we could get a job?
You won't have to go far.
We thought they might need some hands in California.
You won't find any place that needs more hands than the Carter Ranch.
We passed one spread in the valley. Didn't look like much of an outfit.
Now, that was Grant's. The Carter Ranch is about 2 miles farther west. They pay top wages. But they've been losing their men for the past 6 months.
Must be a reason for that.
Yes. I believe that someone is trying to put Ellen Carter out of business.
Did you say Ellen?
She's been trying to run the ranch ever since her father's death.
She's young?
About 21 or 22. She's inexperienced, of course, but she has a good top hand.
My mind is made up.
You gonna work for a woman, Pedro?
Always Pedro help a lady when she needs help, see? I go to work.
Well, I guess I'll tag along then.
Good. Tonto and I'll make camp over the hill.
That one?
Yes. And if you can find out what's behind all the trouble on the Carter spread, let me know.
Si, senor. You may depend on us.
Yeah, that is if we get hired.
All you have to do is ask for a job. All right, Tonto. Come on, Silver.
Get him up, Scout.
Adios, masked man.
We get back to horses pronto.
Kimus, Javi.
Now, what is it?
You think fellers find out what's wrong?
No, Tonto. That's our job. But with their help, Ellen can keep the ranch going. She won't have to sell out to Grant. We know that he's tried to buy it once before at about half of what it's worth. And it wasn't until after Ellen refused his offer that her hands started to leave.
Grant scare 'em, maybe.
It's possible. Grant and his men, they're a hard-looking crew.
Them plenty bad.
But so far, they haven't broken the law. Perhaps Grant doesn't intend to.
Him want ranch.
Yes, Tonto. Before we leave here, we've got to find just how he means to get it.
And me go to Grant's friend.
That's a good idea.
Get job, too.
If you can, you may need a cook. Over the hills,
Get him
Silver.
up, Scout.
We'll make camp down below. As soon as you get any information, come back here. I only hope that Pete and Pedro don't disappoint us.
You going through with it, Pedro?
Si.
They say California's mighty nice.
Pedro Martinez de Salvador y Roniega has give his promise.
I tell you what. Now, there's some females that are awful strong-minded and bossy. If this one looks like that, what do you say we just sort of ask for a handout and mosey along?
Well...
It's only common sense, Pedro.
Si. We take one look on the face and then we...
Hello?
Senorita... Oh, we would like to work for you.
What?
Yes, ma'am. I'm Pete Lacey, and this is Pedro Martinez. We're both top hands, and money's no object.
Bill, come here. Won't you step inside? I'd like you to meet my father.
Si, senorita.
What is it, Ellen?
These boys want to go to work. The masked man did it. He found us a couple of hands.
Well, that's fine. You both look as if you know your jobs.
Si, senor.
Sure do, mister.
Bill Morgan, Pete, and Pedro.
Howdy, Pete. Before I take you on, boys, I want you to get things straight.
Straight.
We're short-handed. You'll practically have to live in the saddle.
We're used to that.
Oh, si.
Now, that's one thing. Second is this. We don't want any drifters. If you only plan to stay 2 or 3 weeks, you can move on right now.
Hey, we are not drifters.
I don't like that kind of talk, Bill.
How long did you stay in your last job?
Well, it's kind of a personal question.
Si. You want us or not?
Of course we do. We need them, Bill. They're good men.
You can ask the masked man. He will tell you.
I wasn't here when you talked to that masked man, Ellen, and I'm not sure you haven't talked too much. You may be an outlaw.
What's that?
The Lone Ranger?
Well, what proof do I have that he was a Lone Ranger?
But I told you.
I still say he may be an outlaw, and these two may be working for him. The way things are right now, I can't afford to have anyone on this ranch that I don't trust.
I trust them.
Gracias, senorita.
But I'm the foreman.
Bill, I insist that you hire these men.
You insist?
Yes.
You better think twice, Ellen. You may be sorry for it.
I'll take a chance on that.
Very well. You're hired. Dump your blanket rolls in the bunkhouse, and I'll meet you there in 5 minutes.
Si. It would be a great pleasure to work for you, senorita.
Yeah.
That fellow, I do not like him.
Got a bad look in his eye.
How long to stay in last job? It is insult. Come on, boy.
And you said we were crooks. If it wasn't for Miss Ellen, I wouldn't stay here long enough to take a deep breath.
La señorita esta muy hermosa, muy simpatica.
Hey, in English.
She is beautiful, and she is kind. But that fellow Bill, he does not trust us. I do not trust him.
Hey, maybe he's a crook.
And that is what Pedro thinks. It is Bill who make all the trouble for the señorita. We will watch him close, and then when we get the goods all over him, we will ride for the Lone Ranger.
Tonto, I haven't seen you for nearly a week.
Plenty hard get way.
Has anything happened?
Grant send Red to Carter Ranch.
What for?
Tell him make new men go away.
I see. The same thing he's tried before.
You right there now?
No, Tonto. Pete and Pedro can take care of themselves. It'll take more than Red to scare them. Here, Silver.
Where you go?
Grant won't give up after one attempt. We've got to find out what he plans to do next.
You come back with me?
Yes.
It's better you not wear a mask.
You're right. Help me with the disguise.
Me help.
But we can't take much time. Red will fail. When he reports to Grant, I want to hear what he says.
Tonto, hurry.
Well, it's about time.
Oh, so I did just like you told me to.
Where'd you get that black eye?
The big one gave it to me.
Where's your gun?
Mexican took it away.
Did you walk home?
Huh?
You don't mean to say that he left you your horse?
Now, wait a minute.
I've waited long enough. I thought you said you could handle the two of them by yourself.
Boss, they're tough hombres.
One look at you, and I can answer for that myself. That's all the more reason for getting rid of them.
You told me not to shoot.
Did they find out who sent you?
Yeah, they had that all figured out.
Sure. I suppose you admitted it.
Yeah.
What?
But wait, boss, they had it figured out wrong. They got Bill Morgan pegged for a crook. They think he's the one who's trying to get the ranch, and I told them they was right. Wouldn't surprise me if they went gunning for him tonight.
You got a lot of bright ideas.
But don't you see that...
Ellen Carter won't let her foreman get shot. Now, we got to think of something else. We're working too slow, Red.
Well, if I took a half a dozen of the boys, we could handle those two.
She might be able to hire somebody to take their place. We've got to get rid of her.
The girl?
The girl and her foreman and anybody else that can testify against us. How many will be there in the bunkhouse tonight?
Oh, just Pete and Pedro and Bill. The other two hands will be riding herd.
Round up the boys. We'll get started right away.
What have you got in mind?
Fire.
Huh? What do you mean?
Just what I said. Fire. The Carter Ranch is going to burn down tonight, and Ella Carter's going to be inside.
But I tell
So
you...
is Bill Morgan and the two new hands. By tomorrow morning, the ranch won't have an owner, and I can step in and buy it for whatever I want to pay. And that won't be much.
Did you hear that, Tonto? I'm heading to the Carter Ranch to warn them. You get the sheriff.
Don't turn around. I got a gun in each of your backs. Make a move and I shoot.
May we stand up?
Yeah, but take it easy. Now get inside. Slow and easy. Open the door, Injun.
What the...
Boss, I found these two listening outside the window. They said they were going for the sheriff.
The sheriff, huh?
Yeah. What did I do with them?
Sheriff. Red, we're going to test our plan before we use it. Now tie him up. Throw him in that old shack on the other side of the corral.
Then what?
That shack ought to have been burned down years ago.
The curtain falls on the first act of our Lone Ranger story. Before the next exciting scenes, please permit us to pause for just a few moments. to continue our story. The Lone Ranger and Tonto were captured, bound, and thrown in an old shack. As they struggled to free themselves, they could hear the shouts of Grant and his men as they prepared to raid the Carter Ranch.
How are you coming, Tonto? Tonto, get loose. Pretty soon now.
Keep at it. We have much time. They'll set fire to the shack before they know it. They've locked the door. Unless we're free of these ropes, we won't have a chance.
All right, now. Hurry up with that oil.
The wood's dry. We won't need much.
Don't get good. Get the other side. Move. Give me a hand, Red. Right. Let's have one of those torches.
Lefty.
Now, get into your saddles, all of you.
Ain't you going to light it?
Right now.
There she goes.
Look at her take hold. Now, follow me.
Ain't you going to stay and watch it?
You'll see a real fire before the night's over. Now, come on. Get
There they go. I'm getting this rope loose.
Too late now.
Keep working.
Too late.
Tonto, that sounds like Silver.
Huh?
He didn't stay in the woods. He's come to find us. Silver, break down the door. Silver.
Maybe him afraid of fire.
Silver. Good boy. Hurry. Back, Silver. Go toward the door, Tonto. Outside. Out of the way, Silver.
Silver, help you. Push with muzzle.
Good boy.
So bad.
I'm all right, Silver. Get Tonto. At that moment, Pete and Pedro, alone in the bunkhouse at the Carter Ranch, were laying their plans for the evening.
Think we ought to do it, Pedro?
Si, senor. We have caught him in the action.
All we got's that fella's word.
It is enough for Pedro.
But doggone it, there's something about the man you can't help liking. He made us work awful hard, but he's worked just as hard as we have. He's always got a smile and a pleasant word.
It is like the wolf who wears the sheep clothes. To the face, he make friends with us. Then he knife us in the back.
I never saw him carry a knife.
No, he's afraid for do it himself. He hires somebody to knife us in the back with a gun.
That hombre admitted it, didn't he?
See, you listen to Pedro. Pedro has great plan for this ranch. It will be the best in the whole country. But first, the Senor Morgan must go.
Hey.
What is it?
Look, that's Miss Carter by the corral.
Oh, she saddled horse.
It isn't safe for her to be riding alone at night. This range is cluttered up with gunmen. Don't you think we ought to stop her?
We find out where she go first, eh? Come on.
I figured Miss Ellen's just about the prettiest girl I ever saw.
See, but just the same, maybe we let her take this ride.
Alone?
It is better she is out of the way. We have work to do.
Is it safe?
We know where the Lone Ranger make his camp.
By the hill.
See, if she say I ride to the south, that is all right. We have nothing to worry about. You leave it to Pedro.
Steady, boy.
Buenas noches, señorita. It is hard for to stay inside when the moon shines so bright, no?
You guessed it, Pedro.
Here, I fixed that saddle for you.
Oh, thank you.
It's sort of late to be starting out alone.
No, it isn't, Pete.
Well, it depends on many things. For instance, which way you go?
Suppose I refuse to tell you.
Then it will be necessary for me to hold the bridle until you do.
All right.
Where, señorita?
Just to the hill.
Oh, well, it's all right if you go toward hill.
Yeah, that's about the only safe territory around here.
You boys seem to think I'm about 6 years old. Get up there, Blackie.
Don't go any farther than the hill.
Hey, what is it? Look, our friend Mr. Morgan going to ranch house.
Yeah, steal a little cash, maybe.
Just 1 second until I get the rope.
What's the idea?
We take care of him right now. Come on.
You mean take him to the Lone Ranger, huh?
See, first he does not want to hire us. Then we do such good job that Senorita Ellen will not let him fire us.
So he pays a gunman to run us off the place.
Pedro Martinez de Salvador y Ronega has reached the end of his rope. He make a loop in it, this way, and get ready to use it.
I'm with you, pal.
Hey, hello, boy.
Buenas noches, Senor Bill Morgan. What you do?
Me? Just doing a little paperwork. What can I do for you?
Well, you can watch while I show you a little trick with rope.
Oh, I'm sorry, Pedro. I don't have any time for tricks tonight.
No? We see.
Hey!
Perfect.
Get this rope off me.
So sorry, senor, but you are going to pay a little visit to a friend of ours tonight.
The Lone Ranger, mister.
What are you talking about?
Stand up. Get his arms behind his back, Pete.
Yeah. Is this a joke?
You will not think so for long. There. Does that rope feel like Joe?
But what's the idea?
You hired a gunman to run us off the ranch.
You're crazy.
You tell us all about it. Do not try to lie, Senor Morgan. We have the goods all over you.
Now, wait a minute, boys. If you've met up with a gunman, I didn't hire him. It was Grant. He's been trying to buy this ranch.
You can tell your story to the Lone Ranger. Now, come on.
Hey, what is that? What happened outside?
Well, that's Ellen.
Pete.
Yeah?
Don't leave me here like this.
They were masked. These outlaws.
Grab your shooting iron. Oh, we can't shoot. We'll hit Miss Ellen.
Kill those dirty crook.
Grab those two.
We use our gunboats. Fire!
Get set. They're going to fight. Give it to them.
We give it to you first. Come on, Pete.
I'm with you, pal. Go on.
2 against 20. The unequal struggle began. Pete and Pedro made a desperate effort to free Ellen and break loose from Grant's crew. In less than 10 minutes, it was all over. Ellen and Bill, Pete and Pedro, tied hand and foot, lay on the floor of the ranch house living room. Outside, Grant and his men prepared to finish their work.
They're going to set fire to the place.
Bill, if they do, Slim and Rocky will see it no matter where they are.
We can hope, darling, but they're a long way out tonight.
You watch your tongue. There is no way for crook to speak to Miss Ellen.
What'd I say?
You call her darling. She does not know truth about you. Since we are all to die, we will not tell her. But you
Bill
are...
isn't a crook, Pedro.
He hired a gunman to run us
No,
off.
Pete, can't you understand yet? It was Grant who did that. That's Grant and his men outside. He's the one who's trying to get this ranch.
Of course.
Well, how you said dogguns. We have made mistake, Pete.
It sure looks that way.
It's too bad your feet are tied. I would like for you to give Pedro de Salvado a Runiega swift kick.
And that does it.
Listen.
Into your saddles. Of course. I can't get a plan from the home, you fool. The sooner we get away from here, the better. Get up, come on. Get up. Come on. Get up.
Boys,
See?
What is it, Miss Ellen?
don't feel badly about your mistake. Didn't make any difference.
We didn't have Bill tied up. He could have helped us.
You worked hard and you put up a grand fight. Bill and I want to thank you. Don't we, Bill?
Sure do.
Well, if Pedro has to die, he is glad that he's in such good company.
Yeah.
Bill.
What, Ellen?
Pete, you hear what I hear?
Miss Ellen, it's the Lone Ranger.
What?
Listen.
It is him for sure. He will set us free.
The door isn't locked and the fire hasn't cut us off.
That's him. He's stopping out in front.
Bill, we're saved.
Senor, you are welcome.
You first, Miss Ellen. Outside.
Can we save the ranch?
No, there's a stiff breeze and the back is blazing. This is the only building that'll go.
Thanks.
Now get your horse saddled, Bill.
Right. Come on, Ellen.
One for Pete and one for Pedro.
Grazie, senor.
What do you plan to do, masked man?
Get outside, both of you.
You see, you know it was fellow named Grant who set fire to this place.
I know.
He had about 20 men with him. There's only 4 of us.
Get over to the corral and give Bill a hand with those horses.
See.
Run. Steady, Silver. Yep. Come on.
I'll tie the cinches on mine, Bill.
Where are we heading, masked man?
Wherever it is, I'm going to.
We'll ride for Grant's place. Take cover in the woods and wait for me there.
Where are you going?
I've sent Tonto for the sheriff and the posse. I'm going to meet them on the trail.
Well, we got all the evidence we need.
More than enough. Come on, Silver.
We will be waiting for you, senor.
Hail, Silver! Away! The great white stallion leaped forward. For 2 miles, the Lone Ranger raced along the trail. Then he cut away to avoid the Grant spread. Across the open prairie, faster and faster. On toward the sheriff's posse and Tonto. Come on, Silver! We'll meet them at the bridge! Hail, Silver! Away! On their return home, most of Grant's men had headed straight for the bunkhouse after unsaddling their horses. But Red followed the rancher into the house. He stood at one of the windows in the living room, looking toward the west, in the red glare that had once been Ellen Carter's ranch.
Come over here to the window, boss.
What is it?
Just look at that fire. It's lighting up the whole sky.
I told you this was the best place to watch it from.
It can't last much longer.
Tomorrow there'll be nothing but ashes.
Won't the sheriff ask some questions?
Hey, what if he does? There's nobody to testify we had a hand in it. Nobody at all.
No. Nobody.
Yeah, what's the matter with you? You look like a sick calf.
I was just thinking. 6 of them. 4 there, 2 here.
Forget it.
Yeah, that's hard.
You better tell the boys that every one of them is in this so deep that they could swing for it. Tell them to keep their traps shut.
Too late for that, Grant.
What the?
You're under arrest.
Sparrow!
And it's too late to call for your men, Grant. We've rounded them up already.
A masked man.
I recognize that voice. He's on it. We threw into the shack.
Keep talking.
Hello, Grant.
And Bill Morgan and Miss Carter.
His Lacy and his very good friend Pedro Martinez de Salvado and Runiega. You start bonfire to kill us. Instead, it cook your goose.
How did they get out, boss? How could
Shut up. You're heading for town, Grant. You and your whole crew.
If you don't hang for this, you'll spend the rest of your lives in jail. Now, get moving.
It's all over.
Yes, Miss Carter. But before I go, I have a word to say to Pete and Pedro.
Si, senor.
And just step outside with me.
What is it, masked man?
I want you to make me a promise.
Oh, anything at all.
All right, men, back to town.
Now, this is far enough. Miss Carter's ranch house has been burned down.
See.
There'll be a lot of work on the place until it's rebuilt. I want you to promise that you won't leave for California until the work has been done.
Pedro promise.
Me too.
Pedro stay on ranch for a long time. He like Miss Carter very much. Someday, maybe he ask her to be his wife.
Sure. Hey!
It's a good idea, no, Pete?
Yeah, it's a good idea, yes, but I'm the one who's going to ask her to get hitched.
So, you are a double-crosser.
Them's fighting words.
Here, we fight the duel right now.
I'm ready.
Just a moment, you two.
I forget you are here. But you cannot stop us.
I'm not going to try. But I think Miss Carter has something to tell you. You better find out what it is before you start shooting.
Kimasabi.
I'm coming, Tonto.
We go back inside.
Yeah. We'll find out what he means, and I'll take it.
Now. Don't cry, Ellen.
It's just that I'm so happy.
Same here. Oh, we can get married now. Right away.
Oh, Bill.
Well, golly. She's going to marry him.
See. And that masked man, he has make us promise to stay here till work is done.
Hey, look at him. What do you think of that?
What do I think? Pedro Martinez de Salvador Roniega think the Lone Ranger is one smart fellow, huh?
The story you have just heard is a copyrighted feature of the Lone Ranger Incorporated.